Hello, Guardians, and welcome to the Destiny IT Pros podcast, brought to you by FrontPoint IT, Utah's premier managed services provider. Find us online at frontpoint-it.com. Hello, Guardians. It is Tuesday, October 6th, 2015. It is a weekly reset in the tower, as well as some other interesting news has come about. We are your hosts, Jeremy Wright, and I go by the gamertag IT Outlaw on all the various platforms out there.
And I'm Dan Stanford, and I go by Mutant Entree.
So, Dan, what did we find out? Well, first, let's do the weekly reset, I guess.
Okay.
Let's run through that.
Sure.
So, Nightfall is the Shield Brothers strike with modifiers. Brawler, melee damage increased. Chaff, player radar disabled. Match game, enemy shields resistant to unmatched elemental damage. And exposure shields do not replenish.
Wow.
So that's pretty fun.
Wow. That sounds rough.
Court of Oryx, tier 3 boss is Kagor. This is the wizard guarded by the big old ogre. Exciting stuff. And that's pretty much it for the weekly reset. But Dan, what happened yesterday?
Well, it got a little interesting. Bungie released some new information, or some new feature in particular that they are adding onto Destiny. Apparently, if you guys remember, there was Tess, the little robot there, right when you came into the tower. She never had anything useful whatsoever, kind of over there by the postmaster. Apparently, she's going to be coming back. So October 13th, so next Tuesday, 1 week from today. And this is where it gets interesting. Destiny is going all in on microtransactions. So you will now be able to buy 18 new emotes from Tess. And I think a particular bit of wording here is interesting. It's initially Tess will offer 18 new emotes. So what else do they have in store? Just more emotes? Or are we eventually going to start to see such things as weapons or armor, things like that? But you buy the new stuff by a new currency called silver. And you get silver by using real hard-earned money from the real world at, if you're on PlayStation, at the PlayStation Store, Xbox at the Xbox Store, actually buy this sort of stuff. What's your 2 cents, Jeremy? How do you feel about that?
This, first off, the only thing they're selling are emotes. So they're not going to add any power to your character whatsoever. It is strictly a cosmetic thing.
Yes.
Which I'm totally cool with. People want to spend their money on something stupid like that, go for it. I'll probably buy some
emotes,
because
man.
they're kind of fun.
Don't smack on the emotes.
I'll probably buy them because it's funny. It's part of it is when the playing field is leveled and it's easy and clear for characters to get gear, then there's nothing that separates you from other players. And so you can't be like that cool guy that has that one piece of armor that only a few people have, like, oh, you've got Vex Mythoclast, only X amount of people have that. You used to walk around with Galahorn on your back like, look what I've got. Yeah. Now everything's kind of leveled. Everybody has a clear path. There's less randomness to it. So this gives you the opportunity to be able to have something different, but by using your real world advantages as compared to your fake world advantages.
Because, Galahorn, before Zer sold it right there at the end, I mean, you just had to play and you had to get lucky to get that drop. Mythoclast, I mean, you knew you had to do Vault of Glass on hard mode, but again, it was totally random. You could do it, 100 times over and never get the Mythoclast. But, yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. I didn't think of it in those terms. If you want Sleeper Simulant right now, there is a path that you have to go on to pull it off. Not easy by any stretch, but in theory, you follow that path. You're at the end of it, you will get, the gun.
Right. This is Bungee testing the waters, is what this is, in my opinion. So this is them saying, let's see how this does with something simple like emotes. Let's see what happens when we introduce this mechanic and this particular thing into the game. And then let's see how much money we make off of it. Let's see if anybody actually buys this. Because what good would it do them to actually release that anyways?
You know, I would throw out a huge word of caution at Bungie on this. I mean, if it's silly things like emotes or, you know, eventually shaders or, you know, I don't know, maybe even sparrows, you know, things like that, ships that, you know, have no actual value in the game other than, you know, being cool and being unique and, you know, hey, you know, right on, don't get me wrong, but they don't actually alter the gameplay. If you go to Diablo 3, you know, Blizzard made a humongous mistake with their auction house. And you could take, you could spend real world money and get gold pieces, and then with those gold pieces buy, you know, equipment. Or frankly, you could even bid just in US dollars on equipment. And if you had the money, you could get the gear and you could have the character, and off you went. It was as simple as that. And the problem is, it completely ruined the economy in the game, and then ruined players' experience too. With it, they eventually pulled it, got rid of it, but I think the damage was well done by that point. You know, just like I said earlier, you know, Tess said, you know, initially it'll offer this. So where are they going with this? I don't know, but I think it's interesting that they said that they plan on using. It seemed to me that they said they're planning on using this money to fund more stuff to occur in Destiny itself. So let me give you the quote. Quote, our plan is to use these new items to bolster the service provided by our live team for another full year as they grow and create more robust and engaging events that we'll announce later this year. And they said, they then went on to say, you know, you don't believe us? Well, apparently this coming Tuesday, there's something new coming above and beyond what we just discussed. So I guess this live team is the guys that are doing the coding, if you will, on the game as it is live. Apparently there's a dead team that is working on Destiny 2.0. I don't know. I'm joking. But probably on the next DLC and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is interesting. Are we going to start having fundraisers from Bungie? Please come buy our emotes so that we can fund, you know, this new strike. We can, you know, if we only reach this service level, you know, call in now.
Yeah, that's really weird. You'd think that they would have enough money after gouging everybody on Taken King, but maybe not. Unless this is just something that they couldn't fit in any other way into the game, which I find hard to fathom, that they couldn't find some way to get emotes in there besides having people pay real world money for it.
You know, when Taken King came out and I looked at the character and you could see that there were more emote slots.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
coming.
Yeah, it was obvious we were going to be getting more of those, but whether or not it was going to be you know, just random drops, kind of like ship drops or, you know, shader drops. That's kind of what I figured. But
I figured there'd be like really cool like dance moves like that you could get only by doing like Oryx on hard mode, like stuff like that, like something bizarre.
I'm waiting for the worm. I want to see the Guardian, you know, doing the worm there on the ground when you do something cool.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm hoping that you can get them to do like what's it called?
Breakdancing.
No, the ballerinas. A plie, is that what it is?
Don't ask me.
I can't think of it. Anyways, that'd be hilarious.
Get up on the tiptoes and do a little
a little twirly.
Minuet?
Pirouette.
Pirouette.
That's what
there
it's called.
It is.
Clearly, we have extensive knowledge about ballerinas and ballet. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm concerned about where this is going. I feel like this is them testing the waters. I feel like they're seeing if people will actually pay any money for it. And if it's successful, then they will continue to do things like this. And eventually, I think we'll see gear being sold. I think that's the slippery slope.
Yeah, I think that may be the death knell for Destiny if they start selling gear where you can, you know, using real money, you can go buy, some armor or some guns or things like that. I mean, if nothing else, as a parent, I can't even imagine the amount of my kids are going to be after me. Can we please spend $3 and get this armor? This armor, I can't finish this strike. I don't know. The other day I was poking around on the PlayStation Store and looking at Last of Us, because they were saying that there was some type of special on pricing for Last of Us, and I thought, I'll go check it out. Well, I typed that into the search bar, and I kid you not, 335 items show up for Last of Us, and I was just utterly confused. I'm like, what? And I started digging into it more, and I'm like, these are all microtransactions. $1 for this little helmet for your guy to wear, $3 for this little emote pack, frankly, is what it was, be able to wave to people and stuff like that. But 335. I mean, Destiny is doing, the silver where you just buy that and then you go to test and you buy your stuff. But boy, I had never seen anything like that before, and call me naive on the gaming front, but that to me seemed extreme.
Yeah, that's been kind of always in the gaming industry. I mean, we've seen it in like Call of Duty. You see it in Counter-Strike. You see it in pretty much any game out there where other people can see your character, where you're able to purchase things that are not, they don't increase the level of your character at all, but they make you look different or act a different way for real world money. And then of course mobile gaming is where it's most lucrative and most popular, is in there. But
a lot of the mobile gaming, I mean, you can, Angry Birds, you can have the big eagle come down and strike and finish the level for you if you just spend a little bit of money. As long as they keep this to, just aesthetic items in Destiny, I think it's fine. I mean, I think it'll honestly be kind of fun, to see what they come up with. And in some ways, I hope they do some kind of silly stuff, some real goofy emotes and stuff like that. I think it'll be a crack up to, do a strike and have someone bust out in some crazy nuts dance you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Anyway. What else? What else we got? I did heroic weekly strike last night and got paired up with a couple of Goombas. That got annoying real fast. Took forever. Missed my old guns badly. I mean, it's not just a PlayStation switchover thing. It's, year one versus year two, and still struggling with, doing the same strikes that, I've done, 100 times before with very different gear, and not having the options that I used to have, not having that Gallahorn or that shotgun that's going to drop that, Reaver Vandal in one hit. So the game is definitely mutated. It is more difficult.
Yeah, I've noticed I don't know where to go at this point, where I'm at with my character. I'm kind of disappointed with it at the moment, because I'm at a certain point where all I have left to do are quests that suck, and I don't want to do them.
Do the strikes?
Yeah, but then it's just the same strikes over and over again. I felt like the content ran out. Like right now I have to do some quests where I have to do some Taken Champion stuff again, like for like the fifth time, it feels like.
Yeah,
and
I've got that.
Every time I sit over and wait for it to start, nobody's there with me. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to wait again and hope somebody's here. Or the one time there was somebody, we didn't finish it in time. And I was like, really? This is such a waste. And I don't even get anything good for it. It's not a good reward, but I have to finish it to progress to do the next one, the next one, the next one. I'm just kind of at a loss as to like where to go. Like I look at the same quests and I'm like, okay. And the reason it's a weird disconnect is because before this, yeah, I didn't have anything to do, but I was maxed out. I was the highest level. I had the coolest weapons and they were all leveled up. And we could do, at that point was collecting things.
Collecting things and then getting ready for, say, Skull Loss and the like.
Yeah. But once we finished that, it was just kind of, okay, whatever. But I had the best stuff, so I could do that stuff again and again and again. And it was fine because it was kind of fun because I was a higher level than all of it, and we could burn through it really quickly. And that was like our thing. Like we knew we could do it, and that made it more fun. But now I just feel like I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Tanix took an hour and a half. And I got sick and tired of the guys I was with. I had more kills than the two of them combined. And it honestly took too long, and it was the end of the night, and I had to go. So, I mean, the thing about that Tanix, hour and a half, I mean, good grief.
Yeah.
So, and just a little while ago, just would have wrecked it. Just would have gone through that with just nothing, no effort at all. And this was just a heroic. This wasn't even, a Nightfall version of it or anything like that. It wasn't even epic. But the thing, though, Jeremy, is it really honestly, in some ways, doesn't even matter what you do, as long as you're doing something. I mean, even if you're poking around doing patrols or strikes, I've noticed that you just keep getting better gear.
Sort of. I feel like it's back when I was like 27, and I remember there was a point in time where I was a higher level than you, and what happened was I jumped levels really fast. Like I managed to get like really good drops for like a couple of days straight.
Yeah.
So I jumped up to 27 like super fast, or 29 or something like that, really fast. And it wasn't because I grinded forever. I got lucky and got some gear. And so now where I'm at the point in the same place again, where I got lucky with some gear and it got me up to like 260 something or 259 or something like that. And it was because I got ahead of my progression should have been. So now my drops are lower than they should be. And so I can't find anything to level me up at all. Everything is lower no matter what I do. And that's a really weird spot to be in and really annoying to be in, because at some point it'll just tip and you'll go past that. There'll be like a critical mass where you just go over that and you just get better gear. But up until then, it's just like feels like a waste of time. We're just like, really? Okay.
I'll tell you what. No, the weekly heroic strikes, you're guaranteed a legendary something at the end. So that's what we need to do.
But I keep getting legendary stuff that's lower than my blues right now.
I got a random legendary drop doing that heroic, and it was a 275. And I'm at I just broke 260. So, yeah, it's a nice little jump. In fact, I think that gun is what pushed me over 260. I think it was in the high 250s.
And then I have stupid exotics for other classes.
Yes, you've used a few 3 of coins, yes?
Yeah, I used a couple of them. They worked. I just tested them to see if they worked, and then just, sure enough, I got helmets, which I guess is really common to get the helmets with the 3 of coins.
I think what it is, Jeremy, we haven't been playing as a fire team. We've been doing a lot of solo work.
Makes it harder.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because we've got to have you kind of need that fire team in order to go do the Taken events, the public events that occur on the planets. If you can do the Court of Oryx or, the weekly strike, because that just sucked with those other dudes. They're just random. I just got paired up with them. But, yeah, I think we need to get back to that. We were doing that a lot with House of Wolves, especially, Prison of Elders and all that. That was just nonstop. We just did that over and over.
And then I think another part of it is also being in the same point as the community.
Yeah, the community is well ahead of where we're at.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what screws you, because like when the first day, everybody's doing the Taken events. So everybody's out there doing it. If you get behind, nope, nobody's there anymore. Nobody cares. They don't want to finish them because they don't need them anymore. And then like after the DLC, it was way harder to get Vault of Glass crew than it was prior. Sure, we could occasionally get a pretty good crew going, but then everybody wanted to do Crota. And then after Crota, everybody was doing, not as many people doing Skolas, I guess. That wasn't real hard.
Well, you couldn't get a save point on that one.
Yeah.
So that made that one a little more challenging there.
But we're behind the majority of the community, and that makes it more difficult to get those things done, I think.
The thing is, I don't want to burn through this. I don't want to be, at the end of October with all the raid gear and all this sort of stuff, having taken out Oryx a bunch of times, sitting here going, okay, well, I guess we'll do Oryx again, or we'll do the Nightfall again. It's good and fine and all, but I'm also perfectly fine with stretching this out and, not doing the raid until well into November.
I don't even
really
know
care
what there is to do besides these dumb quests, which I don't know. The quests bother me because they're things that I was going to do anyways. They're things that I would do anyways, but I don't get them until after I've done something. Like I get it, and I'm like, I just did that stupid mission, or I just did that. Like, great. So now I have to go do this thing and get a reward that was like 3 levels behind me because I'd already completed whatever it was. And I'm like, how am I so off track on these? Like, where do I go? Where's the linear progression in these things? And there's no map that shows you.
Yeah, but the gear does scale.
It doesn't.
You've gotten some crap drops?
Yeah, I've gotten stuff that was like 180.
Oh.
Because you do, yeah, just because it says like upgrade, no.
It's supposed to be. No, Bungie was real big on that. They're like, if it's a heavy weapon upgrade, it's supposed to be like, oh boy, look at what I just got, a better heavy weapon.
No, everything I've done has been lower than me for the most part. Because like I said, I jumped ahead a few levels somehow. And then I go back and I'm like, oh, I got to do these quests. So I go do the quests, and the stuff that I'm getting is just terrible stuff. It's just way behind me, and I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? Please tell me.
Well, I've just been grinding. I haven't really even been chasing the quests much. I've just been doing patrols and just going around and just working, trying to pick up, materials and pick up gear and pick up coins and motes of light, and just trying to rebuild the character on the PlayStation. So I've just started to turn my eye back to, strikes and quests and trying to, go through that progression now that my character is kind of starting to get to the point where it's, can do some things.
Yeah. I guess I'm like kind of not burned out on it. I'm just like frustrated with the game at the moment, kind of in these weird spots where I don't know. I just don't see. It feels the same again as it used to.
Yeah, but I think we need to get going on like Sleeper Simulant and Touch of Malice. Some of those really cool guns.
Yeah.
And really start working on that. And if we were chasing after the fragments to work on Touch of Malice, that sort of junk.
Yeah, but if we get 50 fragments before we have that part of the quest, it doesn't apply to it.
Shut up, really?
Yeah.
Nah.
As far as I know. Just like the quest when you have to pick up the 5 fragments. So you go pick up 1.
Yeah.
If you pick up any more and then you go back to Eris, they get waxed and you have to start over and get 5 again.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've picked up probably 4 or so, yet I only have 2.
Yeah, you have to do it again.
Are they there? Are they back?
I don't know. I've only gotten. I think there's only a certain amount of them in the place. You have to find the ones.
Yeah, there's 50 total.
I wonder if they respawn after you get that part. I don't know. I haven't paid much attention to the quest.
If that's the gold chest thing and they're gone, then that's awesome in the Blossom. I don't know. That seems a little too brutal on Destiny's part, Bungie's part to do that, but
I guess
we'll see.
Probably look it up. I do want some of the exotics, but they haven't been.
Chaperone's supposed to be pretty epic too, but that one's all about Crucible, and that's all about where I'm not going to hang out.
Yeah,
I get tired of Crucible. It's just how fast can you kill the other dude, and how fast can you die, and then do it again, and do it again. I don't know. Maybe when you get good enough at it, you don't die, 3, 4, 5 times for every time you kill somebody else.
So let's see. So after you do, right now I'm on the part where I have to go through the raid to get on the Touch of Malice quest to get the 3 pieces. So once you have obtained all 3 items, Eris will ask you that you find 25 worm spore, 50 hadium flakes, which is annoying because the hadium flakes are 1 per chest, and 50 weapon parts.
Yeah, and it keeps going after that.
So give Eris the items to obtain an antiquated rune.
Yep.
Now you need to collect 30 calcified fragments to continue on your journey to find the touch of Malice.
According to the documents online, there seems to be about 45 of them that have been found.
Oh, no. So you need to collect 30 calcified fragments to continue on your journey. Then you have to do a couple of other like strikes. Go back to Eris to get a stolen rune. Now you need to get 45.
Also, they do respawn.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
So there you go. Okay.
Once that's done, head back to Phobos for the mission, Fear's Embrace. You need to kill a taken wizard, Marzik. The Blight Caller, when Echo of Oryx is almost defeated. With all of these tasks complete, head back to speak with Eris yet again to receive the coveted prize of the Touch of Malice.
Which is a way cool gun.
Yeah, the Touch of Malice is unique. It has only 11 rounds, but the final round is infinite. The catch is that the final round inflicts significant bonus damage at the cost of draining your own health.
They're saying double. They're saying it double the damage.
Luckily, if you defeat 3 enemies consecutively, you'll gain back a generous amount of health. It's not a weapon for everyone, but it definitely has some perks other weapons simply don't offer, like killing you.
It's also it's not on the bonus tree, but it's fully automatic.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for a scout rifle, and it looks way cool.
Oh, it is really cool.
Looks like that would be a fun weapon, but yeah, you gotta be careful. You start getting in a pinch or start to panic and start shooting that thing like crazy mad, and you're not running out of ammo, and yet you're dying. You might want to pay attention to what's going on.
So the last round doesn't run out; it just steals your health.
Yep.
Until
you just constantly
reload
have
it.
one last round until you either reload or switch weapons or die.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So if you just sit there on that last shot, so you could easily prep the gun. You could just fire off the rounds and get down to the last round on the clip, and then just start going nuts on a boss or something like that. But yeah, you gotta be careful and not shoot too fast so you can recover that health.
That's why they did the 3 consecutive restores your health, 3 consecutive kills restores your health.
Yes.
That way you don't use it on a boss and regenerate your health by killing them with bonus damage.
Yeah. So if you had a bunch of thrall coming at you, you could, in theory, you'd kill them in one shot anyway. But anyway, without the bonus damage.
Do you have anything else this week?
That's about it.
I was reading somewhere that they were talking about that they don't plan on doing very many more large releases of Destiny.
Really?
That they, sort of. I backtrack a little bit there. They're not going to do like the large DLCs like we've seen prior, where we have, Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King. Instead, it'll be a trickle of things coming down, like Tess Everest coming in with emotes, and then we'll have a couple of new quests and a couple of new this and a couple of new that as time goes on slowly throughout the next year, and then bam, Destiny 3.0, 2.0, whatever they call it.
I'd be cool with that. That would be pretty neat, rather than the big releases, because inevitably you get up to the point, your guy is all maxed out, you've done everything a bunch of times over, you're just kind of treading water, waiting for the next big release to hit, then you got new content and off you go again. So yeah, if the content was just constantly released, that'd be pretty neat. That'd be interesting.
And also supposedly free.
That I have a hard time believing, considering we're looking at paying for emotes.
Maybe that's how they're trying to fund it.
Season pass?
I don't know. How would they charge? Yeah, I guess you're right. Like season pass or something.
Yeah.
Because how would they separate who gets what from the others? I don't know.
Cool.
Well, that's pretty much it for this week. Hopefully we'll have something interesting next week, more so than Bungie being weird and doing weird things. As always, this podcast is brought to you by FrontPoint IT, Utah's premier managed services provider. We do outsourced IT, so if you don't have an IT department in your business, please call us. We will be more than happy to help you out and become your IT department. Why hire just one guy who's going to sit around a keyboard when you can have 5 guys sit around keyboards and do nothing? Just kidding, we don't do nothing. But regardless, give us a call if you guys have any questions about that. Find us online at frontpoint-it.com. As always, we are your hosts, Jeremy Wright.
And I'm Dan Stanford, and I go by Mutant Entree.
So thanks for checking it out this week, guys. Have a fantastic week, and we'll catch you next time.